heard there's an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth? I just heard about it the other day.
Prepare for an all-out assault on your senses, where everyone is always yelling.
It's on fire! It's on fire!
It's them or all of us!
Check, check, meow mix, good. Banded presses. We're going to do bench press. So warm up the shoulders. I think bench press is something a lot of women don't necessarily do with a barbell. So, like I said, bench press I think is something that maybe not a lot of women do. I love bench press. It's personally one of my favorite exercises for the upper body. It doesn't require a lot of mobility, so if you have tight shoulders and you can't get fully overhead like overhead press, the bench press is great because it shortens the distance from your tricep to your torso. So if you are looking to start the bench press, this is a quick tutorial on it. So quick tutorial on the bench press. Head, shoulders, butt, and back will be in contact with the bench. I like to pull my toes back slightly, drive my knees out. That's going to help engage my lower body. Even though this is upper body press, we're still engaging our core and butt. J hooks are set up so that the bar is in this position where I have a bend in my arm or bend in my arm. I like to use the knurling here, so thumb at the edge of the knurling smooth part. We're going to have a full grip around the bar. Note, thumb around the bar versus thumb like so. We want to close that loophole. All right. Then from here, I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back like I'm pinching my shoulder blades together, squeeze my butt, dig my balls of the feet into the floor. I'm going to extend up, arms locked out. From here, I'm just going to bend at the arm. Bar's going to come down to the torso, and then I'm going to extend. So as I bench press here, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades, squeeze the butt, and fully lock out the arms. I like to warm up with 5 to 10 reps. If you are looking to bench and follow along or save this for later, please make a note that you always want to make sure you are benching and warming up with lightweight barbell weights. I always like to roll the bar forward. It's funny because I love Entropy to death. She's super fuzzy. She's a fur ball, but when she's a fur ball, she sheds a lot. So I just vacuumed, but I'm still pulling her hair off of her. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna warm up. I'm gonna grab some weight. I like to start off with maybe 10, 15 on each side, then we'll go a little heavier from there. Also, side note, when you're benching by yourself, toss the clips to the side. Do not use clips when you're benching for yourself. If you get caught in that bottom position, you can't lift the weight, you can always slide to one side. The weights will fall off one side, then you slide to the other side, weight will fall off the other side. I've seen too many videos of people getting pinned to the bottom, and it makes me so nervous. All right, so we're gonna bench, we're gonna warm up. If, like I said, you've never really benched with a barbell, start with lightweight. Lightweight is relative, always go with the empty bar. If you don't have a barbell, you can always modify to dumbbells. So we got 15s, I'm gonna do about 5 reps here. Also, have you guys heard there's an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth? I just heard about it the other day. Not the first time that I've heard about this. All right, we're going to add more weight. So yeah, so I think 2032 is when the supposed asteroid is going to hit. When I think of asteroid, I think of Armageddon, the movie, one of my favorite movies. Liv Tyler is in it, and my favorite scene, I think, or not favorite scene, but one of my favorite songs is the song Steven Tyler sings in there. But anyways, I think of Armageddon for sure. That is a great movie. Also think of, also, that makes me think of Captain Planet. By the way, there's a new movie, Captain Planet, coming out. I think, Entry's hair. What's his name? Oh, the actor, my actor that I like from Twisters. Glenn Powell. Captain Planet. So Captain Planet, if you guys grew up in the 90s, 80s and 90s, Captain Planet was essentially, there was like wind, water, air. When our powers combine, we are Captain Planet. Don't judge me. But anyways, Captain Planet, I think, is a movie that's in the works. Glenn Powell is supposed to be, I think, the main Captain Planet, which I'm a fan of him as an actor. So if that movie comes through, I'm all about it. But it makes me think of my sisters and I when we were younger, because we would decide on who we would be, like if we were earth, wind, or fire. But it also makes me think of the Power Rangers.
His armor is impervious to our blasters. You got any ideas, Red Falcon?
Sure do, Yellow Falcon. Blue Falcon, you remember our battle at Dango Bluff?
It was Beaver Creek and I took the legs. Make sure you shore up that flank, Black Falcon.
Are you talking to me? Because I'm the Green Falcon.
No time for that, Black Falcon. Purple Falcon, arm missiles.
Power Rangers, again, if you grew up in the 90s, Power Rangers were super popular. I I think there was in the colors, like I think I would typically go for like the blue Power Ranger, and then my sisters Remy and Kirsten would fight over the pink Power Ranger because they both like pink. I wasn't really a fan of pink, so I was like, ah, you guys can pick. But it made me always think of the Power Rangers. Anyways, side tangent, we're gonna warm up. Next set, we have 25s on each side. Also, when you're benching, you wanna take a big breath. You wanna brace, keep air in the lungs. Essentially, you're filling your balloon. You're gonna lift, and then you exhale at the very top. And then you'll rack. Also, depending on how experienced you are, you can also hold your breath for maybe 2 reps and then reset. But you want to make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath for all the 5 reps. So we're going to exchange those out. We'll probably just jump. We'll put like 15. That's 125. I'm being lazy right now and I'm not grabbing the blues. So let's be 125. I've gotten really gotten really good at adding. Math is not my strong suit. Math is very hard. Numbers are challenging. I have dyslexia. I've never really acknowledged that I have dyslexia or like thought I had dyslexia, but every time with numbers, I always get them backwards. Or when I'm thinking of numbers, I'll say them like, hey, I'm thinking of like 58 and like comes out 85. And I think that's why I struggled so hard growing up. Math, pre-algebra, calculus, pre-calc, all the math classes, all the like chemistry, all that was so hard for me and so challenging. I would spend like 3 to 4 hours down in my room. I'd go up, my mom would say, hey, dinner's ready. I'd eat in 20 minutes, go back down and spend like 3 or 4 hours like studying and trying to get really good grades. I am a type A personality, if you have not noticed. And it was imperative for me. I think it was also stressing me about my dad. Like, hey, you should get straight A's. You should be the best of the best. And in my mind, I kind of grew up with that. So if I didn't get straight A's, I thought, not like I was a loser, but I like wasn't doing good. And I struggled so hard. I think my pre-calc, my AP calc class that I took in high school was the lowest grade I ever got. It was a C-, and it devastated me. Anyways, long story short, to circle back, we're talking about math and numbers are hard, but because of all the lifting I've done over the years, I've become really good at knowing like green and a 15 is 125. If I have 225s, that's 135 on the bar. Yes, so let me clarify. This is a ladies bar, a 35-pound bar versus a 45-pound bar. So typically in competition, I've competed for many, many years at the highest level, and we always compete with a 35-pound bar, so 125. So we're just going to do 3 reps here. Alrighty. And so now we're going to take the 15s off. We'll put greens on again, and that'll be 135. Go up here. Anyways, so I have squirrel brain. Back to what I was talking about. Asteroid in 2020 or 2034 coming, 2032, excuse me. If you guys haven't checked that out, check it out on X, Twitter. Supposedly it could be big enough to cause damage. They want to say it was damage enough, I want to say 3 to 5 times of the Hiroshima bomb. So it would definitely cause a lot of damage. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed, but we'll opt for not thinking that. But I will say that does make me want to watch a movie. Also, if you guys have any good older movies like from the 90s and 2000s that you recommend, feel free to drop them down below. My 2 favorite themes are comedy, action, and I will add a 3rd one in there, kind of like mystery whodunit. I used to have Nancy Drew books growing up. I love that mystery, like who killed the person? Also makes me think of another cartoon, Scooby-Doo. So like, who is it, right? Who is the person? Like, unmask them. Anyways, you guys are definitely getting me dating myself right now. All right, so 135, we're gonna go 5 by 5. So remember, hands right outside the shoulders, thumbs wrapped on the ground, squeezing the shoulder blades together, butt engaged. You might have a small arch here, which I do, totally fine. Everyone's a little different. Sweet. And then we're gonna rest. Ooh. Kind of business and what I'm looking forward for this next year, 2025. There are a handful of companies, 3 specifically, that I'm working with or in talks with. I think it's very important to align yourself with companies or brands that are mutually beneficial in terms of the partnership that you want to have. That is very important to me. I value authenticity. I value open communication. And I think it's really important to have that with companies and brands that you work with. Next set, so we'll continue on here in a second. But just something to think of if you are an individual out there looking to build your brand and your business, things to keep in mind. Right, next set. So also remember, roll the bar forward in the J hooks. Or any type of seminar or clinic, I can only touch so many people. So online presence is a really big focus. And so I've kind of grown over the years, building my brand, building my wine brand, building my fitness brand. And it's been something that's kind of flourished over the years. Obviously, it's been a lot of time and effort and energy. I think it's really important that female audience is very important. That's been my focus, is growing the female audience, not just within fitness, because fitness is very saturated, but also reaching them in like the yoga space, or, you know, getting them off the couch and getting them to move. Because I think some people see fitness as very intimidating sometimes. And if they're like, oh my gosh, like CrossFit's too much or running's too much, like, cool, let's go for a walk or let's do some stretches in the gym. And so, yep, exactly, steps. And so I facilitated that not only through like my YouTube channel, but all social media platforms. And when I work with a brand, I want to find it mutually beneficial. Like, I want to make sure that I'm assisting them in what they're trying to do, but also they see the value in working together. So we're both elevating our own brand and our own message. And so, like I said, focusing on fitness, the female client obviously has been kind of my focus. And I think, just like you said, like that female presence, especially in certain avenues, like riding Harley. So I have a motorcycle that I ride with my girlfriends. I go shooting, and there are a lot of people that maybe, there are women there, but they're maybe not as common, or not, the voices aren't amplified. So I'm trying to essentially be that individual, that female for the ladies. And I think fitness is that avenue. Like, getting them to be physically strong and mentally strong through training allows them to improve their confidence, so they feel comfortable to get on a bike or to go shoot or to go hiking or whatever it might be. Oh, 5 reps in. 2 sets in. All right, so again, just to kind of finish what I was saying, making sure that you're connecting yourself is important. Also making sure you're not just selling your soul, right? Being selective with who you're working for and why you want to work with them, or how you guys can work together. I think partnerships are very important, but it should be, in my mind, like I said earlier, mutually beneficial, meaning how are you working with the company and brand, and how are they helping you in return? The focus and the goal in my mind would be to grow together, and also focusing on the audience that you're looking to convey. For myself, it's very important to reach other females out there. My focus is to give women the strength, physically, mentally, emotionally, to help them build that confidence in the gym, so they then can take that outside and have confidence to maybe go ride motorcycles or go shooting and go to the range and understanding how to work with firearms, or deciding to go on a hunt or hike and exploring and pushing their boundaries out. We will adapt as individuals, but we have to expand that bubble. So I think it's really important for myself, like I said, focusing on that female audience, growing the females out there. So if you have a female individual in your life, maybe it's a mom, a sister, your spouse, your partner, if you would love to share this with them to hopefully show that there are other women out there doing amazing things, that they too can do those amazing things, I would greatly appreciate that. All right, next set coming up now. We got 2 sets down, 3 to go. Also note, you want to make sure you're in the center of the bar and that your brow or eyebrows are underneath that bar. Spicy meatballs. So I have multiple brands that I manage and run, and I started, and I've worked with athletes, sponsoring them in the past. And my biggest thing working, like I said, and having a mutually beneficial relationship, I learned quickly that some athletes out there are just out there for the money, or out there for a quick buck, but they're not necessarily invested or wanting to grow or wanting to help the individual. I think it's very important that if I'm going to work with an individual, I'm going to sponsor an athlete, it goes both ways. So I competed at the CrossFit Games for many years, and that was my focus, and that was my job in a sense. It also, as I pulled away from that, also saw there's a lot of people that see that so extreme, but also maybe they're not invited to the gym, maybe they don't feel comfortable in the gym. So how can I get them to move? And that has been my focus the past like 4 or 5 years, is how can I get people off the couch and maybe going for a walk, going for a ruck, like, hey, let's do a 5-minute workout. And I've built this community online, and people are like, oh man, it's like just so easy. I'm like, it's not easy, it's a lot of work, but I show up consistently. I am authentic and genuine to the people that I'm resonating with, but I also want to make sure, like, hey, you find this helpful and beneficial, share with others, because maybe there's someone out there that's lost and they don't know. And the reason I can speak to that is because I was that person before. Like, I didn't know what to do. I cut out pictures. I literally have a vision board in front of me here of like pictures and phrases that I utilized in college to help me get where I'm at. And I utilize that and channel that to other people, because I think it's beneficial for them to say, hey, like, you were once there, I can get there too. Ooh, my ass cheeks are on fire because I'm squeezing my butt so hard. So I think social media has changed from what it was 5, 10 years ago to what it is now. But before, in the past, I think people could just be like, hey, here's my face, here's the product, end all be all. But for myself, I think it's changed drastically. One, it is more saturated. Obviously, the industries, depending on the industry you're in, has grown the depth and breadth of it. But also, it's very important to tell a story. What is the hook? How are you going to bring the audience in? What differentiates you from someone else, whether it's an individual or a company or brand? I think it's very important to tell a story, but also resonate with the community. What is it that the audience is looking for? What are they looking to gain, whether it's education, entertainment, inspiration, motivation? And for myself, it's very important. I want to connect with my audience. As much as I would love to do in-person events, I know that's not realistic and I can't reach as many people. So being able to communicate them online, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, all those platforms, I've spread my effort on all those platforms because I think there's different audiences on there, and it's also very important to communicate with them. Show them your authenticity, show them that you are looking to build their trust and the value with that individual or group of people. All right, 5th and final set, let's get started. Or let's get finished. Arms are feeling it, got wet noodles, but strong wet noodles. Well, like I said, I love bench press, but I would love to see more women in the gym lifting weights. And I think building that confidence, like I said, through fitness will amplify into other aspects of life. So if you guys have a woman out there or a female in your life that they're interested in weightlifting or they're interested in trying to bench press, share this video with them. Hopefully it gives them some inspiration and confidence to lift. And again, if you don't have a barbell and you can't bench press, there are a multitude of ways to modify with dumbbells, with kettlebells. You can even do just body weight like push-ups, elevated push-ups, dips. There's so many things that you can do. I think it's, again, maybe pushing past that zone of being uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. That's where growth happens. So if you are out there and you're a little uncomfortable, it's okay. Embrace it. Lean into it. That will help you progress and that will help you become stronger physically, mentally, emotionally. All right, lower body superset. Real quickly, we are going to grab our bench. So if you are at a home gym, you have limited equipment, we can grab a bench, a box. I'll actually give you guys a modification if you want to do this without a bench or box. We're going to work on single leg strength. So if you're trying to build your booty, strengthen your hamstrings, quads, hips, core, unilateral strength, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a bench, and then we're doing some single leg deadlifts. I love some single leg deadlifts. I'll show you guys variations of how we want to do this. I'll give you guys kind of a side profile. Let's see, how's that look? Good. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate without any weight. So this is a lateral step up. Out of all the step up variations, this is one of my favorites. My foot's going to be on the bench, opposite legs off to the side. I'm just going to press through my midfoot, standing all the way up, locking out my leg, and then coming back down. If you work the eccentric, which is this movement, working the eccentric, going nice and slow, that's going to help strengthen your butt. If you have maybe one side that's weaker or stronger or not as flexible, not as mobile, this will help with that. So we're going to do 8 single leg step ups. We're going to add a kettlebell. We're going to do both sides. So essentially I'll go this leg, and we'll switch, then I'll go this leg. Then we're going to go into a single leg deadlift with that kettlebell. Let's grab the kettlebell. Also, I like to warm up with light to moderate weight as we started. If you don't have a kettlebell, you could also use a dumbbell. If you guys are watching, feel free to comment below what you prefer, dumbbells or kettlebell. Team dumbbell, team kettlebell. I like both, but I think I default to dumbbells a little bit more. If you're going to hold the kettlebell, hold the bell, handle upside down, press through. We're just going to do 2 reps on each leg. Oh my gosh, Angie sleeping? Are you tired? Is Angie sleeping? We went for a short little walk this morning. If you are finding this video or finding my channel for the first time and you're like, man, I couldn't do this, or I won't be able to do this, go for a walk. 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk, half a mile walk, 1 minute or 1 mile walk. Starting with walking is a great way to start your fitness routine and getting some exercise in. You get some vitamin D. If it's sunny, you get some fresh air. And it also going to help you with improving your mood. All right, real quickly too, talk about the single leg deadlift. This is my handle and this is my kettle. I totally butchered that. It's a teapot song, or teapot. Tea kettle? I'm a little tea kettle. This is my spout and this is my handle, something like that. It's a nursery rhyme. I was talking about it with my sister. which we'll talk about here in a second. So single leg deadlift, back leg is going to be like a flamingo, just touching the toes. Then from here, we're going to do a single leg deadlift, hinging from the hips. So kind of like an RDL here, but we're doing one to the bell. I like to do opposite hand to the leg that I'm standing on. We're going to do 8 on one leg, then we'll switch 8 on this other leg. So lateral step up and then into our single leg deadlift. We'll reset the clock. All right, so first set here, we'll talk a little bit about some other exciting things I did this past weekend. So I like to start with my right leg. It's not as strong as my left. So we're going to do 1. You can hear my knee cracking. My right side's a little stronger. I'm going to switch sides here in a second. So 8. Switch left. I recommend if you're doing these, starting with the side that may be a little weaker, not as strong. 3, 4, 5. Good. 3 more. And 8. Good. Then we're going to come back over. Since I started with my right leg, start with the right leg. Now you can modify this to 2 rounds. Today we're going to be doing 3 rounds. You can also modify the reps. Excuse me. You can do 4 reps, 6 reps. Get a single leg kettlebell, hinging from the hips. Bottom of the kettlebell will touch the ground. 2, 3. I'm hinging from my hip, my knee joint. 4, 5, and 8. So I like to have the weight on the opposite leg. Allows me to kind of counterbalance. Also, I have to work my core a little bit more. Yeah. Awesome. So it's 8 and 8. We're going to rest, but we're going to wrap it up. Excuse me. So if you're going to follow along, you want to, ladies, if you want to build your butt, hamstrings, and quads, as well as your core, add that superset in. You're going to do a total of 3 rounds with about 90 seconds to 2-minute rest. If you know anyone out there that would love this video and may be looking for a little bit of support or encouragement, please share this with others. Please feel free to comment below as well. If you guys have any questions, what you look forward to seeing more. Also, if you have any 90 references that you want to share, feel free to drop them below. I'll see you next time. I think for myself, it's very important, like I said earlier, I want to work with companies that are mutually beneficial, that see the value in what I'm bringing, but also how can we kind of work together to elevate activity and movement to people, like not just physically, but also mentally. So when I work with a brand and company, it's like, all right, how can we work together where it's not just, all right, I'm just promoting a product, but also the values, the kind of messaging behind with the product or behind the company, like what are they doing? What are we doing? How can we work together? If it's events or it's collaboration, that's what I really value. And obviously, like compensation in terms of something being valuable, I want it to be something we're all on the same page, but also it's like, all right, I think it's very important to be transparent, but also upfront and like kind of honest with each other. And again, like I said, I want to work with authentic brands, and I love what you guys are doing. That messaging is really important. So when I work with companies, I just want to be like, all right, I'm just going to work with anybody. It's like I'm selective because I think it's very important. But like I said, that mutually beneficial is like the phrase that's really important to me because I want it to be benefiting both people.